Is it good the Giants are showing fight like this in practice?
Yeah, it could be. It could be good, as a matter of fact. I want to remind everybody of another high first-round draft pick at quarterback who wound up in a fight on the bottom of a pile, in a fight with a defensive player in 2015. It was in Carolina, and it was Cam Newton and Josh Norman. And Cam wound up on the bottom of a pile. And all they did that year, the Panthers, was go on to play in the Super Bowl. I'm not saying this is exactly the same situation. There's no perfect analogy, no perfect parallel. But Phil Jackson talked about, in one of those books of his, about the stages of team building, Sam. And there's a certain stage, it's like stage 3, where guys want to improve, and they're in the process of coming together, us against the world, but it's still kind of individual. And I would apply 2 sayings to this. This is how the sausage is made, right? If you actually see it, you're like, oh, I don't know about this. But, that's how it's made. And never show a fool half a job. We're the fools, and this is half a job. Joe Judge's style of leadership from the head coaching position is fiery, right? And he's a disciplinarian, but obviously he gets his guys to buy into this idea, because that would fall flat most of the time. But obviously his team believes that the coach is actually putting them in positions to win. He has to get them to buy into, actually, this guy wants me to succeed, right? Or that stuff, that style's not going to work. And this is a team that's showing a lot of fight, a lot of passion, even the way it was addressed afterward. This is something that doesn't have to happen again. But the fact that you see this at this point in a team's development that seems to be ascending is not necessarily a bad thing.
Max, let me go ahead. You're reaching. You're like a little kid trying to reach to like a little, the thing you do. You're reaching, Max. Let me just debunk a few of your theories. In 2015, Cam Newton was an MVP quarterback. No one's sitting here thinking that Daniel Jones is going to be an MVP quarterback. Ron Rivera is like the coach of the year. No one's thinking that Joe Judge is going to be a coach of the year candidate, right? In the NFC, Ron Rivera was voted coach of the year. So let me, number one, that's number one. Number 2, what we saw in 2015 wasn't a team-wide fight. You saw some people around the pile trying to pull away Josh Norman and pull away Cam Newton. That was different. What we saw yesterday was the entire team on the field, number 2. So that's not a good look. Number 3, you're doing up-downs. You're doing push-ups. You're having to run as an entire team in the NFL. That's what we did in high school, dude. In high school football, the whole team gets into a fight. All of a sudden, you do up-downs and you run. You're getting disciplined. And in college even, large amount of the team gets into a fight. So why we do up-downs as a punishment? You are professionals. So there's a difference if you're fighting in order to establish a pecking order. 2015, once again, Cam Newton, he's the top dog. Josh Norman's coming in. Hey, he's a good player too. Let me show you what I'm about. You establish a pecking order. You see who's who. I had times in my NFL career where you're going against a guy, you get disrespected. You fight. You show that you are to be respected. But the entire team fighting, number 1, not a good look. The quarterback at the bottom of the pile, number 2.
I don't like that part either. I'd like the quarterback to not wind up at the bottom of the pile, for the record.
And number 3, Max, to say that this is a good sign of things to come and this is the team showing fight and showing grit and coming together, that's not what I saw. That's not what I heard. What I heard was similar to a couple of years ago when I was playing in Chicago, got into a fight with some guys, and they said, you know what, Sam? We're going to red dot you. What does that mean? We got our target on you. So we're forsaking practice, and we're going to try and get our shot back on you because you got your shot on us. That's what we're seeing in New York. There's no team building. There's no pecking order.
I don't know. It's too early to say that.
No leadership.
Okay.
There's no leadership.
Okay. Let me hear this one. Where? With the players?
So if you've got a good leader when it comes to the coaching staff or the players, fights like this, team-wide fights don't happen. They just don't, Max. In the NFL, no, you'll get DBs going against corners, right? Okay, because you compete every single day, so y'all go against each other. You'll get O linemen going against D linemen. You compete every day. You might even get some linebackers going against running backs. But you're not getting the entire offense and the entire defense together. A good leader on that team would have stopped that fight before it got started.
This is what I mean by never show a fool half a job. I thought I was the fool, and we were the fools. You played, and now you're the fool too? Look.
How am I the fool, Max? How am I the fool? Explain to me how I'm the fool here.
Because you may be right that they, at that moment of that fight, they lacked the right kind of leadership in the locker room. The players did. You're right. but this is how the sausage gets made. This is not show the fool half a job. That doesn't mean that someone doesn't emerge. You have to give people the room to grow, a team the room to grow. You have to give young leaders a room to learn from experiences. And if you listen to the team, and we played some of the sound after the fight, it seemed like a learning moment. It seemed like a moment that has rallied the team together instead of ripping them apart. That's what I mean. Like, we're all the fools on the outside who didn't play the game. But I think everyone can be fooled in this situation. Just because that doesn't exist at the moment the fight happened doesn't mean that can't exist by the end of this season.
Max, I played the game. I've seen fights. That's not a fight you want on your team, point blank, period.
Yeah, it's not something that you want to see, but it was a small incident. The melee ensued. Daniel Jones said that he got involved for, quote, because he was part of the team. And he actually, apparently, from his teammates, has earned some locker room credibility after he did so.
Oh, look at that. See, Sam, look at that.
There you have it.
So
this could be a good sign of leadership.
What I will say.
They're going to the Super Bowl this year, Max?
No, of course.
As a fight?
No, but I think they can win the division. I think the Giants can win the NFC East.
Stop, Max,
and
please.
I also
We ain't got time for this right now.
I
Max.
also think that
you don't want to get into this ditch,
they can't
Max.
do this again. If that happens again, I'll agree with you, but not just one time. No. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.